We used to have a PO box number that we actually had to close down because we got sent so much junk from foreign countries just wanting to use us for free publicity. But occasionally we get something new sent that does get through the system. And this time it's good to see that some good old English craftsmanship still going. Happy days. How does he do that? How does he do that? It's weird, isn't it? Somebody will copy it. We're always finding something to moan about here in Britain. If it's not the wet and windy weather, it's now the wife moaning, it's too hot, I'll be glad when this hot weather's gone, it's too much for me. We only have it for about 2 or 3 days a year. I'm going to go in the tackle shack because it is hot out here, it's 30 degrees today. I want to show you what one guy sent me, really good, and I've got some other things I want to show you as well. Did I just say that? Whew. It really is bakingly hot out there. So we've been in here for a while, haven't we? I'm mostly coming here autumn, winter, that sort of thing, when it's cold, horrible weather, because I've got the G stove there and I've got all my firewood and I can do stuff and I'm out of the way. It gets nice and warm. Today it's actually relatively cool in here. I mean, to be honest, other than going out shark fishing or generally being in the sea fishing, out in a boat, that's the only place I'd want to be fishing today. Too hot for the rivers and lakes. I think they shut down a bit. But listen, gentleman very kindly was inspired by one of our float fishing films. I imagine it was one, I think I made a float out of a feather, went and caught some fish on it. Now he sent me here some floats, whole different level. So, change of spectacles. Very glary out there today. A few clouds about, but there's not much out there. It was sent to me by one Andy Cowdery. Dear Graham, please find enclosed 3 of my handmade fishing floats. After watching your films on YouTube, I have been watching yours and Mike's on TA, that is TA Outdoors, for some time now, and they have helped me through the periods of lockdown we have all endured. While I consider myself very lucky to have made it through the COVID crisis relatively unscathed, I did find the lack of freedom quite challenging during the club. There's thousands and thousands of fishermen feeling like that. I, like you, need to be doing something, got to keep my mind and hand occupied, hence float making. It's a bit like fly tying, it's quite satisfying when you actually go out and catch a fish on something you've designed and made yourself. I am by no means a master craftsman or professional float maker. You're having a giraffe. I've seen the quality of these. They look pretty professional to me. Very, very good. You always took a lot of time doing them. They will go in the water. I'm just a fan of the show and this is my way of saying thank you. Thanks for all your hints, tips and exclamations? Holy beep! Explanations to help us improve our fishing skills and save us a few quid here and there. Thank you for making us smile. If you could find a moment in your busy schedule to test out my floats, that would be amazing. If nothing else, is an excuse for another fishing trip. Wow, people. They came to me in a jiffy bag, wrapped up, and I was quite taken back by them. They are very, very good. I'm going to do them in close-up, you can see them there. The point is, Andy must have absolutely bionic eyesight because he's written on them. Here, each one has it written on, the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Now I thought that would be a transfer, maybe he takes off from a computer gently sticks it on there and then varnishes over the top. But no, he emailed me to say it is actually done by his own fair hand. I don't know how you do that, Andy. You've got no chance of me. I've got no chance. I'll show these in close up. They are 4 BB floats, so they're just about right for me, so I can use them in the still water and I can use them in a lake. So let's get the camera down and I've got, wait for this, I mean, rummage around in here and, ooh, what's this? What's this I got in my pocket? It's one of these. It is a big old magnifying glass. Holy schmoly. So I figured if I hold that over the float, you might be able to see the writing. I've no idea. You know me, life is one big experiment. But it's also a very hot and very sunny day. And as school kids of the 40s, 50s and 60s, there are always things you could do with magnifying glasses that possibly they don't want to do now. Let's get these floating close up. So Andy, thanks very much for those floats. They are going to go both still water and river fishing. Hopefully they don't get lost, because I've got one float left, an Avon body 2BB. I use it all the time in the winter, grayling, small chub, dace, that type of thing. I've got one left, no, some 5BB ones, they're too big. It's that particular one, 2BB size, I just like for running through. It's probably 40 years old. So these will be gratefully accepted and they will be used with great effect. Another thing that will be used with great effect in short notice will be what we used to do as school kids, seeing if we can make a fire using a magnifying glass. And let's get out there before the wind and rain comes. This is how we used to do it as kids, on leaves and stuff. So let's see if we can get any life out of this. Oh dear, dear, dear. Oopsie. I don't know whether you're going to see that starting to smoke. That's getting hot. I'll come back a little bit. You just might put it on again, you might see that. There you go. I can see it smoking, hopefully you guys can. I can smell it. So this is when people have beer bottles and things and they throw them out and break them in the countryside. It's kind of dumb because that glass works exactly the same principle as this. Less strong, but that's how some of the fires are caused. It's actually gone to ash now, some of that. Hopefully you guys see the smoke coming off of that. Well, I'm not saying just go out and play with the magnifying glass. That's what us kids of the 50s and 60s used to do because we had to pass the time. There was no internet and staring at phones. It was great fun. Anyway, let's get some water together with that float and see if we can actually catch anything with it. Well guys, I've come down to try this float. Don't know what my gentleman made me, but the sky looks, it looks horrific. So I'm going to get the brolly up. It's just starting to rain, and hopefully, if I'm quick, I don't even think I'm going to be fishing here. I'm hiding behind here, guys. It ain't looking good. I just had something blow in the water, managed to get it out. It's all going to go very, very bottoms up, as they say. I've got to hide everything under here. I've got to move everything back. It's all got to go back. I'm hoping it probably doesn't get blasted away. It's looking very dire. I feel it's going to be one of those bad sessions somehow. I've also forgotten to bring any food or drink, but I've only got 4 hours to hold out, so whoa, she's going to blow away if I ain't careful. Mind you, as a photographer, this is one of those that could turn into a tornado and I get an exclusive YouTube film. Hopefully not twisting up in the twister. These clouds look very nasty. I'm just going to basically put the float down there and keep an eye on it. As with many storms, they sort of create their own wind and change direction. They can, you know, it can change like 90 degrees. And that's what's happening here. This looks like a big storm coming in. This could be El Blanco, guys. Oh dear. I'm crouched under here. Well, that's good. It's just running in my back pocket. Good place to stand, Graham. Wowee, look at this. This is like the tropics. This is like when I was fishing in the Tortuguera jungle in Costa Rica for tarpon. And it opened up like this. Unbelievable. Hope that rod and reel is waterproof. Actually just saw a fish move further out. Out there, just under the surface. Eased off a little bit, but I won't poke my head out just yet. So basically I'm looking for one fish. It's stopping, it's stopping. I'll quickly show you the rod and reel I'm going to be using. One rod and reel. I want to make it a sort of a challenge, so I'm going to be using this. It's called a Madfish Centrepin. Obviously because I'm going to be fishing right in the margin, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to try that. It's got 5-pound line on it. The rod has an old gas knob from a gas cooker for a rod butt. You've seen this one before. This one is called Frankenstein rod 2, broken top of a carp section, winch fitting, and some cork I found. And then the float, which we've shown you, is there. Lovely looking float. I hope to see it bury and get a fish on it, the first fish on this float. Fairly confident if this rain stops, even though I've only got 2-3 hours. Right, I think I can get out there. I think that's gone through. Right. Highly technical, a piece of bread flake. Actually, that was the one that smelled a bit off actually. The wife, I said to the wife, it makes a sort of sweet smell. That one's okay, that other one is definitely off. I've had this one's been in the freezer, but there's enough for me to try. Wow, it's clear now, it's gone through. It's over there. Fingers crossed, people, we get lucky. Just a pinch of bread like this. Oh God, sunshine as well. I might need a dust shot just to tow it down. So I don't want to squeeze it on the hook too hard. I'm squeezing it, if you can see that, around just there, bend of the hook. Then I'm going to dip it and soak it. Yeah, that's sinking. I'm just going to lower it down there. Now with these you can either leave the rod laying flat and they pull on the reel, or you can watch the float. I haven't seen any swirls. It's not clear enough for me to spot the fish. I haven't put my Polaroids on. Yeah, but look at it over there. Wow. There's even a bit of flow going this way. I can see the float just moving down there. Those carp will come straight in on that. Oh my God, watch the float, watch the float. Big swirls. Where is the float? Oh, look at them stirring it all up. I might be a little bit over depth there. This reel will sing a song if it does get a hook up. They've been digging around and they 3 big fish and they've stirred it all up. Oh, look, that one spooked. Touch the line. Look guys, there's the float. And you saw the fish swirl there. That's how close they come here. Look at, he stirred that. He stirred all that ground bait up in the water, and then the roach will come in and take all that, so nothing gets wasted here. But the float is just sitting snugly there. I need to get it back over there, but of course I've got to move back. See my shadow in the water? That's why that fish spooked. He sees my shadow. They're stupid, but they're not that stupid. So let's set up again, maybe give him another pinch of ground bait. Just going to swing it out there. See how slowly it's sinking in amongst all the bits of leaves and rubbish there. So if I crouch down here, I can sit here and just see. Oh, I missed it. Absolutely missed it, guys. Wasn't expecting that so fast. Oh, here we go, first fish. Oh, look at this roach. Look at this. Look at the size of that roach, people. Wow. First fish on that float there. I just suddenly thought, I can't really normally fish like most people, I fish with 2 rods. And I think most of the time if I catch fish, I'm catching them with just the one. So yeah, got a little bit further out. Oh, the roach on it straight away. You can see that float bobbing down. Now you see that was bobbing around with the roach. It's gone quiet. That's generally there. See the ripples? There's a sign that carp's come in there. So if that goes under again now, that could be a carp. Shorten that up a little bit. I can't see anything. I might have to put my polarising glasses on, even though it's cloudy and stormy. I'm just leaving it laying there for a second while I get my glasses on. I've got glasses on. I still can't really see the fish, but if I stand up, I might just be able to see a shape move in and put the float a bit closer. I know they're down there because I see the odd ripple coming up. Now what I could do is free line a piece of bread down there, and then I would get a take on the reel here. This would take off spinning and you just reach down and grab it. I've got all these leaves and stuff down there. So it's obviously a little circulation point here in the wind. There's the first bite. It was a small fish, probably a roach. I've gone a little bit deeper and gone further out over there. Lots of little roach knocking it. Nothing holding it down, nothing close in. Might have had the bait off. Yeah, bait's going to be gone. See if I'm right. Gone. Oh, that's a fish. Frank 2 in action. Frank 2's in action. Let's have a look at it. Oh, that's a big fish. It's a lovely big common, this one. I don't know why a lot of the time these short rods actually do much better than a big one. Tangled up, which is handy. See if we can get him in. He's gone round his fin, I think. Perhaps not. And that's woken him up. He's untangled now. I've got a feeling that might be a double figure fish, people. Not the world's greatest mouth. He wouldn't want to. He won't be doing any lipstick adverts. He's in. There we go. That's a nice one. So, success on the float with roach and carp. There you go, that's the fish. And there's the centrepin. And there is the float. Result. I'm going to get another handful of slop. It's just mashed up bread, nothing else. I just try it a bit farther out, see if any roach. Well, I know they will come through that. Pretty gunky, that bread. Let's see if the roach, if I follow that up, it's tumbling down with a float, I might get a take. See how fast that fish was caught on this broken fishing rod. Ridiculous. So I'm going to peel a bit of line up like this, then I take what they call a second finger, you see. Still spinning, and then out it goes, quite a decent distance. I could drop the ratchet on, or you can fish without it. Oh, wowee. That was a bite. Oh, just lost a shot. Or have they slipped? Roach this time, people. Nice roach, 3 nice roach in a row. Should be netting these fish, look. Look at the size of them. There's the centrepin reel and a roach and a hook. It looks like it should be used for conger. There's a fish down there. Just going to lower it down. 2 fish down there, I think. You can actually see my silhouette with there. Let's see, you can see every movement I make. You keep dead still. Floats just underneath there. I have to go a little bit farther out. Fish about a foot this side of my float. He must be right on it. I can see him, he's right. He is there, the float's there. Do I move my float? He is so close to it, it's ridiculous. Just trying to move it a little bit. I don't know if he's still there or if he's gone. Another fish coming in. Just barely make him out. Got him. Big fish, holy crap. Oh, this is a big fish. This is a big fish, people. Big common, I think. Big common. Wow. Hopefully get this on that float, it'll be something. Yeah. That was definitely a double. I don't get these short rods. Look at the fish goes sort of nowhere. I don't understand it. That's another nice fish. Look at the size of this one. Look, bear in mind I'm catching these fish on a broken carp rod. The top half of a broken carp rod and the bottom half of another broken carp rod, glued together with a winch fitting. I'll put corks on it. It's doing the biz. It's doing the biz better than a carp rod. Now drag wise, you can see I've got my thumb on the spool, just on the rim, what they call rim control. Some people don't like ratchets, some people do. Centrepin people generally do. Frank too is absolutely nailing them. He's not ready, he's not ready yet, he's not ready yet. He's getting there, he's getting there. Oh, that's a big fish. I can't get him in. He's in. There he is. £12, something like that. Nice common, but you can see how fast that little float and everything got it. Wowee, good session. I'll say it's 13. He's gone. Success in every packet, people. Very slimy. Why is that? Oh, I've got one off ratchet just down there, just down the side of the margins. So number 3 hooked up. I have no idea what size it is. Just wind and pull. It's weird. So weird. I've had it happen when we've been fishing with the pen rods as well. It definitely is going to go away again, but smaller common. Not bad for 2 hours fishing, people. Less than that. Now you can take the ratchet off, which I've just done there. You can see it's got a little knob. Goes on for the ratchet, or just rotate it. I personally like the old school, what I call match aerial type, which was just one lever to click it backwards and forwards, but you can play it. You can play the reel upside down if you want. Some people on river fishing have it running off the other way so they can run a float back. And you can also just play the fish just like this, and you just got this thumb rim control. It's the only drag you have. So now I've got the ratchet off and still pulling the fish in. Nobody would even know I've got one till it splashes. Amazing how the smaller fish fight harder. But he's in. There you go. I don't want the fish to break that float, so let's get him up on the mat. Ooh, get too old for all this fish catching. Now, that's what I should have done, is put there. And that's all it did, it, the float, and it's got on it the totally awesome fishing show. That was done by hand, which I find unbelievable. Well, it's a good job I got these fish when I did, people, because I think we're into Tornado Alley here. Look at it. Really freaky. See if we can pop another one out. So you get the gist. I go from the first one. See, I pull what I call a finger line. I go up, and then I get a second finger there. So I've got that. Can you see that? That's what it looks like. Two fingers, obviously for river fishing. Cast out. You let the first finger go first, and then the second. That's not my buzzer. The other guys, I think. And then you let your second finger go, and it goes way out there. Obviously you can't distance cast with them. I was nearly striking that then. Missed it. And then just what they call batting the reel like this. Fish on, boys, and off. Over depth. I was fishing over depth then. Sooner or later that rain's going to get me. Let's try sinking it down there. I think there might be a fish down that side, which is strange because there's no bait in there. I thought closer in here I would see more fish moving, digging around, but I think this swim's a little bit deeper. Well, if it comes in really bad, but I think I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might pack up early, because I've proved that this method works with this float, and the float is a lucky float, I feel. But I don't want to get soaking wet, and I hate packing up in the wet. So if I get one more, oh, that's roach. If I get one more fish, I think that'll be me done. There's quite a lot of buoyancy in that float I'm watching. And they pull it under, never get on fishing for carp here. And I've had roach as well. So the roach can pull it under, but it's not really a roach float, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys have noticed before that in the evening when it's raining like this, lots of little flies come out. Can you see those? You'd think they would be out the way of the rain, but they seem to come out of the rain from the back of the hedge. Not a pretty sight. I'm not even holding the rod at the moment. It's the second one that's come through. Ah, oh, look at it. Oh, yuck. I bet there's carp down and I just can't see them. Basically, I don't want to catch one yet and get wet. Other than these, which I carefully position underneath the drips, bone dry in my 50-year-old FG coat, 50-inch umbrella. Might be a 5-foot one, this one. I think it's 2 fish down there, people. Let's get the float in. There's probably, oh, there's a bite now. There's probably 3 fish down there then. I think I spooked them all. Oh, they're still there. It's ridiculous. There's so many. Just stirring it up the bottom. There's the float. Hopefully you saw that bite. Straight under he took it. And he came off. Oh, float's off, let's get the float. You can also put it bottom end only, just going through the eye once or twice, or put locking shot either side. But I've got quite a tight, very, very tight fit float rubber because it's quite a large size. Large diameter tip to the float. Two fish coming in down there. Might be a little bit close. I'll keep it dead still. Pretty well all over me. Spook that one, spook the other one. Look at all the ground bait that's stirred up there, guys, around the float. Where they've shot off, I spooked and they bumped in the line. Not a bad thing, then the roach will start feeding on that. I've braved the elements, guys, and I've got another smaller common here. Straight in. But they all count. I'm on about number 6 or 7 now. I missed one really pretty good fish. And this one's okay. It's a nice common. You can see here this rod has absolutely no problem here at all. He's in. It's a nice fish too. Broken the net. This guy's about 10, I'd say. So, wet enough. This one, yeah, he's a good one, about 12s, 11, 12s. Nice fish. To close out is at 6 in a couple of hours. I'll bust the net yet again. Thanks for watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Thanks for that beautiful float that guy sent me. It got used. It's very, very lucky that we get this guy back. Well, there you go. You can now have a go at making your own float, play with a magnifying glass, and you've even got tips on how to use a Centrepin. Hope that's interesting to you. I had a good little session there in really bad weather. We'll see you with the next one. Don't forget, have a go, people, at hitting the like button, as well as TA Fishing and TA Outdoors, notification bells and subscription. Stand by for the next film. It won't be long coming.